Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, Dylan. So
Yes.
obviously we know each other, but could you say a little bit about yourself for the folks at home?
For the folks at home, we are all truly at home right now. My
Oh,
name
so
is
true.
Dylan. I am transmasculine and I am 22 years old. I'm double majoring in English and psychology, and I really like art stuff. I'm a big crafter, and I love my friends, and I'm a little too passionate about everything.
So my first question for you is, how do you document your life and experiences?
I document a lot of my life through the art that I make and through like how I communicate with my friends because I'm I have a lot of friends, but I'm a really introverted person, so I like it's usually kind of like an occasion when I hang out with my friends or do something with them. So like a lot of the things that's like on my walls or like in scrapbooks that I've like used as like kind of artifacts of time are from like times and places with my friends. I have some scrapbooks that have like receipts in them, and I have some like stuff on my wall that's like paintings from friends, and it's like crafting and stuff. Definitely is how I keep track of time. Also, we talked a little bit about this before, but I have my online presence that I use as my like public diary basically, and that's like going back through the tags is always like really cool to see how I've like changed and come to different conclusions.
Why is it important for you to keep these records of like your relationships in your life and your experiences?
I think that they all help ground me as like a person. I have a lot of aspects to myself, and one way that I can ground these aspects is by like combining them with friends and like saying like, okay, I embroidered that one time with Dan, or like I went to the waterfront that one time with Jasper. And like there's all these things that come together to create me. Part of why I have this kind of like mental anthology is how I keep track of myself.
How has your approach to self-documentation changed with gender identity in your life?
Ooh, that's a sexy question because that's big for me. Um, so for the folks at home, I've been identifying as non-binary since like high school, but I was super femme presenting until like about a year ago, 2 years ago. That femme presentingness was just like something to like grasp onto, and makeup was something that was huge for me. And I didn't realize it like while I was going through that phase, but it was definitely something that put a barrier between me and myself, even though it was such a form of expression. Like it was so tied up in how I was like raised with gender to be like makeup is the vehicle to be a good woman, like that I was still clinging to that even though I was identifying as non-binary. And like understanding that I could change my presentation physically has like made me so much more comfortable in being non-binary. I still experiment with makeup sometimes, but I definitely like don't wear it every single day like I used to. It used to be something that like I needed it to go outside. Now I'm just like, it's fun art. I used to have like Instagrams and stuff for my makeup. That was only to like get praise for doing womanhood correctly. And it wasn't anything that I really needed or wanted, but there were so many things that I've learned like, oh, I actually live a much happier life when I live a quieter life. Throughout my entire life, I've always liked traditionally feminine hobbies, like always embroidery, cooking, baking. I got really into table setting at one point. Yeah, like it was just all really connected with how to be a good woman. Now that I've like accepted myself a little bit more. Um, and like, here's another thing for the folks at home. Like, I'm not on testosterone. I have PCOS. I've always had beard since I was like 13, and it's definitely something that I've had to get used to and realize that it's a part of myself and that I like shouldn't hate it, because why would I hate it? I was raised by other women who had PCOS, and so it was definitely this thing of like, be careful of this because this could make you fail womanhood. So I was always like very on it on how to do this correctly. And now that I'm living my like true life, I can still have access to all of these hobbies that I've always loved, but it doesn't feel as obligational as it has.
Okay, so thinking about your online presence, has being able to share your life like that been a healing experience for you in any way?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. I lived a very isolated childhood. I commuted to school for a lot of my life, and so like I didn't really live around friends that I like went to school with, saw every day. So because I was so like socially isolated growing up, there was a lot of ways in which being online and being myself online was really, really, really validating, because I did not want to present any way outside of my assigned gender at school. I couldn't at home, but online there were all these people who understood where I was coming from, had similar experiences, thought that I looked fine as hell. Like, you know, and it was just very, very healing from this like world that I kind of grew up in my physical realm of not really knowing that trans people existed at all. At all. And then coming into high school, getting online and figuring out everything. It's interesting because I feel like it was less healing of a pre-existing wound and more like giving me all the tools to help me with all of the wounds that I didn't know I had. Yeah, because like, you know, I've had a lot of specific traumas that the internet hasn't really helped me with, but like in terms of just my social identity and being who I am, like feeling part of a community and part of this world and like a beautiful human being, God, the internet's been amazing for that.
How did being online and learning about trans identities affect your own like sense of self and coming into that?
Until probably I was like about 17, I like had a notorious lack of sense of self. I used to make jokes that I was navigating like my life like I was a video game character, and that I was just like, here are my two hands and my, you know, my action that I'm about to do. I didn't want to put myself into anything. I always had to be like, okay, remove myself from this. What is the morally good option? What is the thing I should do? That's how I lived my life for a really long time, until like I realized that like, oh, there's a me in here. Seeing all of a sudden the route to trans identity and understanding that I could literally choose who I am, and that nothing is truly forced upon me, and that like I don't have to be this like ideal woman that nobody ever actually wanted me to be, but like everybody wanted me to be, you know? And like I had this mental image in my brain of like needing to be a combination of the Burlington Coat Factory girl and the like Venus Razor like legs lady.
Oh
Like
my
I
God.
needed to be both of them, but I cannot. So seeing other trans people exist made me realize I don't have to be anything. I can be just myself, and I can be comfortable in myself, and I can like seeing all these people like go on their journeys made me see how attainable that journey was for myself. Definitely. Yeah.
When do you feel seen?
I feel seen the most when somebody makes me feel like every aspect of my gender is seen and that I am gorgeous. Like
Yes.
my journey through gender has been whack. I, you know, identify as transmasculine, but that's because I don't really vibe with saying I'm a trans man. I'm definitely not agender because there's so much gender going on here. I'm just like, yes, I'm a beautiful bisexual man, but I'm everyone. When I'm around people who can understand that about me, that's when I feel seen. I spent so much of my life turning that off, and I don't want to. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask. Do I have to have pants on?
No, you do not have to have
Okay,
pants on.
excellent. I kind of lost track of where I was going. What was the question? Well, you know, and it's just like, and well, I have fun now that I've figured out who the hell I am. Carly Rae and Dorian Electra are like getting me through this quarantine. Have you seen Metropolis, like 1927?
No.
Okay, I bring this up because there is a side character named Georgie, and he reminded me of you.
Oh, how
Because he's
come?
just this like blonde, beautiful twink who dies. Because my hair's down and I'm extremely gorgeous now.
I just can't wait to edit the soundbite. I'm a beautiful bisexual man.
But also, I'm every woman. It's all in
All in
me. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's both. It's got to be both.